I haven't heard anything. It's nice. It's cold. It's chilly. Ugh. Sorry, I'm late. I went out. Same thing we did a couple of days ago. An event with the fam, members of the fam, and it was a good time. Good time was had by me. Tis true. Had dinner. Actually, went out. First time I went out to a restaurant in like 2.5 years. Yeah. Don't have a show today. So we'll probably do about 20 minutes and just call it a day. One, it's half an hour late, right? And I gotta tell you, you can look at me. I'm sweating. I've got a drip going. Shows you how warm it is here. Oh my god. A couple of days ago, freezing. Uh, Really? What's the temperature outside?
It's about 77 degrees outside.
Pretty freaking nice. A couple of days ago, it was like 40. I don't know if this is global warming. I really don't know. Uh, I know the weather is widely inconsistent. So I've been practicing my bar chords. That's what I've been doing. And then I looked up one day, like a couple of days ago, and there's a new variant. So I don't really know what to say about it. I heard about it, I want to say last night, around about seas. Did I hear about it yesterday before I went on or after? I forget. But it was yesterday sometime at night. And I just thought to myself, yet another one? They said it was going down. Is it changing as it drops off? Really, I don't even understand this virus, man. It's not a virus, it's a plague or whatever it is. Uh I don't get it. Whew, but I can tell you this. I can feel it. All the experts say that the human population got down to about, some believe it was 2,000 people, some believe it was less than 2,000 people. But the idea that it got that low should, and mind you, it got that. Hey, hold on. First of all, they tell you it got that low, but they also tell you that there were other types of people here. So when did those people disappear? I don't know. A spear. All right, let's close this. I should have coffee or something made. But I gotta tell you, man, it was a pretty good day. It was a pretty good day. Now, excuse me. It was a pretty good day. I don't understand it. As school tries to recover, COVID's toll on teachers and students still lingers. Yeah, stop acting like COVID ended 30 years ago and people are still suffering from it. It's still going on. It hasn't ended, and people are recovering and doing an assessment of what happened. We're still in it. Can giving trust funds to underprivileged newborns close the wealth gap? First of all, this is stop playing these games. What can close the wealth gap? You've rigged it and it's corrupt. So you keep talking like, well, maybe if we did something nice for the, you're greedy and you're holding everything. You sound like the mad villain talking about maybe if we beat and raped less, they'd like us more. Kind of bullshit. Um, you know what the problem here is? The people are set upon. I've got incense burning in the room. Give me a second. All right. Oh man, it's a little smoky in here. Here's the thing. Um, I don't even know what to tell you. I'm stressing. The whole situation is a stress case, and I'm burning sage to clear my environment and my aura, my chakra, my whatever. Um, my nephew came over. He was like, "What is that smell?" I was like, "It's sage." He was like, "Ugh." I was like, "All right." Um, rinse yourself clean of all the stress, right? Uh, even if you don't believe it works, all these rituals to do shit, even though they don't work, helps you feel better about things. They can just tell you what the rich people are doing, what houses they're buying, who they're dating. You really have to sift through the news and then suss out who said what and why they said it. Um, okay, we've only been going for about 10 minutes. That's about right. Um, the policy around here is 20 minutes or so. So I'll cover some stuff for 20 minutes. Then when no one talks, I'll probably talk for another 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, and then I'll just in the stream. Uh, unless something else is there to talk about. But sweet Jesus, we've been talking about the same thing for like 2 weeks now, which is the invasion in the Ukraine, right? I mean, that's what we've been talking about. Redland youth soccer coach arrested on suspicion of having sex with a 14-year-old. What are you going to do with these people? Brittany Grenier's detention extended until May. Russian news. Yeah. Deep Water is a movie for the mean and the horny. I don't even know what kind of movie this is. Why would that? I don't need. I have no idea. Federal jury awards $85 million to a California family in a wrongful death lawsuit after arrest. After he's arrested, he's dead. Why is he dead? I said it before. It just keeps happening. You guys ignore it, and then it'll spill into your lap, and you'll wonder what happened, why did it happen, and why can't we fix it? Because you let it get good and hardened in stone for 400 years, and you're not special. Let's check out this federal jury. Federal jury awards 85 million to a California family in wrongful death lawsuit after arrest. A federal jury has awarded 85 million to the family of a California man who died in 2015 after a confrontation with San Diego County Sheriff deputies court records show. The jury verdict came in negligent and wrongful death lawsuit filed by the family of Lucky Fousey, Phounsy. Lucky, is it F? PH is F. Founsy, Lucky Founsy, Phounsy, against the county and the sheriff. The jury verdict, what we asked the jury for is to return a verdict that reflects the truth about his death and that reflects justice for what was taken from his family, said Tim Scott, an attorney for the family. According to CNN affiliate KGTV, we think that jury verdict did deliver both truth and justice. So they're implying that it was the cops killed him, and the county and the police department took no responsibility for it, which is why they sued in federal court and won. And all this language of justice implies there wasn't, and somebody worked the rules in their favor and was like, "Fuck justice! I want a favorable verdict for what I want it for." All right. The San Diego County Sheriff's Department plans to meet with its legal representative to evaluate the verdict further. 85 million. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, people have been seeing it, and all these cops are going to get off. And then when the lawsuits come down, they're all going to be big, because that's the public and the jury going, yeah, this is bullshit. And what they're going to lean on is appellate courts striking the verdict. Oh, no, we at the court find that there was a reason, and you have to go back and retry and give you a second chance to win it. Or we're gonna crash the jury. The jury verdict was too high, says we fucking asshat judges. If the jury says 85 million, give them 85 million. The jury don't get to say you're giving people too much time. How the fuck do you get to say you're giving people too much money? They take power and then they just do shit, and then before you know it, them doing that is the standard, and that's the problem, right? Because the standard is fuckery. It's based in racism and sexism, right? White Puritanism, all these other isms from the colonial days, still based in it. That book needs to be completely overhauled. We're going to evaluate the verdict further. As always, our ultimate goal is to provide exceptional law enforcement service in San Diego County, the statement said on April 13, 2015. So we're going to look at what we can do, because we don't want to pay this, but we want to say our heart goes out to the family and we strive to do a good job. Having said that, fuck your kid, and we're not paying you. Because at the end of the day, we're just a club of mean men who are connected. So what are you going to do about it? Watch a judge fucking overturn it. And that's them saying it. Watch a judge fucking overturn it. So they have to say pretty things, because that's what PR is for. But you can see through the action and their long history. And if they really give a fuck, the last case would have been the case that was the last one of its kind. But no, they're dealing with this one, and I'm sure there's more like it. One day we're going to look up as citizens and go, wow, the cops haven't shot anybody in like 20, any unduly, not in like 20 years. I think we fixed our wild cop issue. Aren't we all proud of the cops? And everyone's going to go, yeah, and give them a round of applause, a well-deserved round of applause if they do that. But for now, all we're doing is looking at it and just going, dude, guys, what are you doing? You're killing me. I'm trying, but you're killing me. You're killing me. All right. On April 13th, Founsy, 32, began experiencing symptoms of mental health crisis and called 911 to report that unknown assailants were trying to harm him. According to the complaint, so he's having a mental episode. He calls the 911 to go, the aliens are coming to get me. And they send the cops to his house, and the cops kill him. I've seen cases where the cops went to prevent a suicide and ended up killing the guy. And I'm like, you might as well just not have shown up, right? He could have did that himself. It really is sort of crazy. On April 13th, Fauci, 32, began experiencing symptoms of mental health crisis and called 911 to report that unknown assailants were trying to harm him. According to the complaint filed on behalf of Fauci's 2 children, wife, and mother, he left 4 people. Sheriff deputies responded to the call, were unnecessarily confrontational, aggressive, and profane, the lawsuit claimed. After deputies attempted to handcuff him, Lucky became frightened and confused before an altercation with one of the deputies, the lawsuit said. Deputy emergency medical technician and paramedic used a taser on Fauci and hogtied him. Hogtying someone is tying their hands and feet together. Sometimes they do it behind your back, which is, I mean, let's look it up. Let's make sure I'm correct here. Hold on. Ugh. Oh, good Lord. Oh. Hog tying people. Yeah, it's hands and feet behind your back. It's not in front of you, it's behind you. So you essentially rock up on your stomach because you're like this. It hyperextends your back, depending on how, yeah, it's just a fucked up. Why are you doing this? You've got handcuffs, and there's more than one of you. I don't get why people end up dead with this. I mean, for the time it takes to tie someone at the scene, you could have handcuffed them and threw them in the back of the van and took them to a precinct versus spending 15 minutes out on the street to hog tie somebody. Deputies, emergency medical technicians, and paramedics used taser on Fauci, tasered him, hogtied him on the way to the hospital. Paramedics put a sock over his face, according to the lawsuit. According to the incident summary and court documents, the 2 responding deputies called for backup units while they were being assaulted and injured by Fauci. Both deputies were injured in the altercation, one of them severely, according to the summary. When you tell me somebody was injured and injured severely, you need to tell me what their injury was. Hey, William, good to see you. Sorry I am late. I had a family thing, which kind of shocked me. Came out of nowhere. But we were gonna hang out, and I hate to say it, but I threw him out to be here at 7, and we've been streaming since about 7:10. So yeah. Sorry I'm late, but we're here every day streaming. Please forgive me. And I hold it, wait. You're not supposed to see that, are you? And I promise I won't ever do it again. All right, let's knock this out. According to the incident summary, and it's also against the law to lie, and well, I don't know about other places, but it's generally against the law to lie on these. They're supposed to be facts of for all time. I write this in the eternal record of the ongoing adventures of the nation of America and all its people. Hey, here's one story about one incident about a guy and the cops at X. It should be the fucking truth. And it never is. Never is. Oh my gosh. All right. Hog tied him on the way to the hospital, and paramedics put a sock over his face, according to the lawsuit. According to an incident summary in court documents, the 2 responding deputies called for backup units while they were being assaulted and injured by Fauci. Both deputies were injured in the altercation, one of them severely, according to the summary. That's according to the police report. According to the police report. That doesn't mean it's true, but okay. Fauci was treated at a local hospital and died a few days later. The federal jury found the deputies used excessive. Yeah, he died. He was 32. He was crazy. He wasn't. He was mentally infirmed. He wasn't physically infirmed, right? Why is he 32 and dead? Explain it. The only thing harder to explain that is if the person is healthy and younger. And the younger you get, the harder it is to explain. Why is a healthy young man dead after an interaction with you when he had a mental issue? Wasn't wanted for anything. He wasn't crazy in the neighborhood. He wasn't stalking his girlfriend. He wasn't going to get guns and go after the president or anybody else. He was some sad, poor soul having an issue, and you were called to help him. And you, fuck you, I'm the cops, him, and killed him. And that's essentially what happened. I got no time for you. I've seen meatheads do this. There were meatheads I would not work with because I was like, they're going to get you shot or they're going to get you arrested. And I can do all that dumb shit by myself. Right. And here's the thing, the cops always know who the shitty cops are. They never get rid of them. And died a few days later, the complaint said. The federal jury found that the deputy used excessive force against Fauci, weren't trained properly, which is bullshit. Always blaming training. Violated Fauci's civil rights, yeah. And if they did, there should be a federal trial, and it won't be. And were negligent in their duties, which led to his wrongful death, according to court records. Fauci's family was awarded 85 million. It was awarded 5 million for pain and suffering he experienced, 2 million for suffering endured before he was placed into an ambulance, and 3 million for suffer endured before his death, as well as 80 million for the losses of his love, companionship, and more, court records show. That don't sound right. 80 million, 3 is 83 million, 2 is 85 million, and another 5 is 90 million. This said 85 million. All right, let's do this again because I did go to New York City Public High School, so my math might be jazz. All right, Fauci's family was awarded 5 million for pain and suffering he experienced. 2 million, that's 7, for pain and suffering endured before he was placed into an ambulance, and 5 million, that's another 3, that's 10, for suffering endured before his death, as well as 80 million for the loss of his love and companionship. Yeah, people leave a hole when you steal them from their families. And it's all over and it's constant and it's steady and it's ridiculous. And he can't say, you know, who's good at, look up any commentary by Patrick Lynch of New York City Police. He's been there for 30 years. Every time the cops kill somebody and it's blatantly ridiculous, he's always blaming the victim. He is. He's always blaming the victim. Telling you how the cops, or when it's super obvious, and withhold judgment. So that's the tactic. Withhold judgment, will retrain. You can't retrain racism. You can't retrain stupid. It's a dodge to get away from it, and then time marches away, and the story moves on, and the only one who remembers it is the family, and they keep doing it. Hog tying people. The fuck is wrong with y'all? Seriously. All right. 92. You say he got 92 million? You know how sad a news day it is when CNN has 2 cheerleaders free a trap ball during March Madness game. Place went crazy like it was all that mattered in the world. I was just kind of like, what in the ever loving fuck? Excuse me. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. What is going on with this? All right. I feel confident that the instant issue is good. What a black man grabbed tea from car. A black man grabbing tea from car. Shot by New Jersey State Police and paralyzed, lawsuit says. Excuse me. Are we gonna read this one? I don't want to read too many. All right. Black man grabbing tea from a car shot by New Jersey police and paralyzed lawsuit says. Juwan, Jajuan, Juan, right? Juwan R. Henderson, 29, was paralyzed from the chest down following a February 12th encounter with Trenton police to sue alleged racial profiling. An unarmed black man in New Jersey grabbing iced tea from a car was shot and paralyzed by plainclothes officers last month, according to the lawsuit alleging excessive force, negligence, and racial profiling. Jawan R. Henderson, 29, was getting a drink from a Saturn Ion parked outside of his home shortly after midnight on February 12th in Trenton, per the civil suit filed Wednesday in Mercer County. This happened in February, and you found the suit now. But what happened to the trial? I heard that. But that was a couple of weeks ago, right? Parkland won a lawsuit against the FBI. How much did they get? That's when a group of men in dark clothing and masks driving an unidentified vehicle boxed in the Saturn, which was parallel parked. Parallel parked. Oh, okay. So he wasn't just inside chilling and went, "Oh, I left my phone in the car. Oh, did you bring the groceries in from the car and go out to his driveway or his parking space or the car parked directly in front of the house?" He's double parked, parking space. You drive up instead of parking in front or behind. You guys know what double parking is. So essentially you're double parked. Then you go inside for unknown amount of time, and then you come back out, uh, and the cops interdict you. Here's the thing. Cops in plain clothes. I was a plain clothes guy. Cops in plain clothes are, in my mind, easily spottable, but some people are dense as fucking rocks. All right. And you could be standing next to them butt naked and they won't know it because they're looking at their phone or they'll never look this way where you're standing. It might well be a knife. You could be standing like this with a knife and butt naked, and someone has to go to draw their attention to it, right? Um, that's people. Oh, but if you walk outside after midnight to your car and strangers walk up on you dressed in plain clothes, no one's got a shield out. Why would you not be nervous for your life? I just think it's so much fuckery going on. I think you could solve this by following cops and look at what they do. And I think they probably did that quietly and then saw what they did and was like, destroy that tape. We follow 100 guys, and 100 guys were assholes and violent, and some did criminal shit. Yeah, let's keep this quiet. Fire the one who are blatantly and you know what I mean? When a group of men in dark clothing and masks driving an unidentified vehicle boxed in a Saturn, which parallel parked. They boxed in a parallel parked car. Boxed in is just tucking right into you, doop, like that. Now you're boxed in. Um, Once out the vehicle, the men began yelling, and Henderson attempted to use his phone to call for help. The suit said. One of the men smashed the driver's side window, and Henderson was shot 4 times. What? Roll up on somebody, start screaming, break their window. Everything isn't a felony car stop. If you did that and you knew he had a gun and was wanted for, I would get it. But everybody gets this treatment, and then none of these guys go to jail. This is why I think I'm gonna check this thing again next month. My carpet isn't on fire. It's all right. We have not set the place on fire. We're good. Um, let's finish reading this story because it sounds like they assumed he was a felony with a felony. He was a felon with an open warrant, and that's the way they approached him. He could have been like, "Let me call somebody because I'm not here by myself," and then they just shot him 4 times. It's like, "Oh, sucks to be you for being out in the world." Do 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 do. What's gonna happen to me? I'm fine. Do 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 do. Something should happen to you if you're incompetent. How big is the internal affairs in NYPD? God only knows, man. However big they are, they need to fucking do their job. I'm pretty sure they're fairly fucking large. But there's enough malfeasance and bad shit going on in the New York State Police Department with its members. They should have plenty to do, and I never hear them doing anything. So they remind me of CCRB, who is supposed to also look into cops, right? But they don't do shit either. They have an opinion about this, yeah, okay, fine. But it's a giant city agency like sanitation and it's not the Board of Ed anymore, Department of Education. Um, it seems like they should they just write checks. It's an agency that shouldn't exist, or it should have more teeth. But it's a bitch agency now, and that agency should just be rolled into the Attorney General uh, office in New York City. Because right now it's got less power than the ASPCA. Uh, Delosa Hen did not know who the men were. Shot 4 times, the law said. The group of men appearing as any other group of dangerous criminals from a horror movie turned out to be from Trenton Police Department, the lawsuit said. A black man sitting in the car at midnight on a cell phone was all the unidentified police need. Oh, a black man sitting in the car at midnight while on a cell phone was all the unidentified police. A black man sitting in a car at midnight while on a cell phone was all the unidentified police needed. The unidentified police needed to smash the driver's side window. Despite being unarmed, non-threatening, and minding his own business, the police proceeded to use lethal force and shoot Juwan in the neck. It's a miracle Juwan survived. Henderson is now paralyzed from the chest down. So being paralyzed from the chest down means you're either paralyzed from here or here. So he might be able to sit in a chair and look and do this. He might be able to move his shoulders, which means he might be able to move that little knob on his steering wheel thing. But if you don't, if you, yeah, it's bad. Oh my God, it's so bad. 29 bullet to the neck, paralyzed. What happened to the cops? I said it before and I said it again. The fucking FBI, the joke. They should be looking into these shootings, and they don't. And the cops are emboldened and arrogant about it. But you don't want anybody to be dark and give up and defend themselves, right? You better do something. You can fix it. You should fix it. It's a miracle Juwan survived. Henderson is now paralyzed from the chest down, the suit said. Named as the defendant are the city of Trenton. Why are you not releasing the name of these police officers? They're public servants. They're not secret agents. All right. Named as defendants are the city of Trenton, the director of the Trenton Police, Steve E. Wilson, 4 officers only identified by their initials who were on the scene, which is bullshit. Wilson did not immediately respond to requests for comment Friday. A city spokesman declined to comment on the pending lawsuit, which is also a dodge. Derek DeMauri, an attorney representing Henderson, told NBC News on Friday that there are many unknowns in the case, such as plainclothes officers' objectives that night. According to the suit, there's body camera footage that has not been released. Of course, there are. To the public, the identities of the responding officers have also not have been withheld. The fuck are you running over there? You work for the people. Outrageous. A 2018 Attorney General direct a 2018 Attorney General directive says video footage should be released publicly when I remember this. Where is this again? Jersey. Right. You have a certain amount of time to release the video evidence to instill more trust because no one trusts you. And now here we are again. A Trenton spoken beyond saying is ongoing. To see if Trenton complied with the request attorney. Hold on, I missed a paragraph here. A 2018 the general directive says video footage should be released publicly when requested once the initial use of force is sub, substantially complete. What is wrong with me? Me no read good. Um, once the use of force is substantially complete. So the use of force is the paperwork that you fill out if you used any force. Had to punch him in the head. Had to hit him with my nightstick. Had to mace him. Chemical force, right? But I told him to freeze. He stopped. He put it down. He put his hands up. I just cuffed him. Did you use force? No, didn't fill it out because he didn't use force. Is that true, sir? Yeah, he's in court going, yeah, you're right, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I know why I live my life. I just all of a sudden I wanted to do my time. I just want to go to God and figure it out. And they'll be like, oh well, he just had one of those weird moments people have, right? And he just doesn't want to be a criminal anymore. And he realized this is you got lucky. Versus the guy who goes, I'm never going back to jail. And then you and 9 other motherfuckers gotta jump on him. I've had to do that. I've had to be one of a bunch of cops who jumped on a ginormous motherfucker. The first thing about that is you don't want to be the first dude to have to jump on them. And I was always the dude because I was a lot smaller. I was always kind of like shifting in the background. And once other people had your attention, I would just run up and yoke you up, right? Because all I had to do was get because if you land on me, everybody's on you. If you land first on the floor, everybody's on me, and you're pinned to the ground. But yeah, I wouldn't do this with me and 2 other cops. We would wait till like we had like 9 fucking guys. Why don't you calm down, man? Nobody's going to jail. What you say? 2 more cops show up. We're going to, yeah, talk them and delay. Because the whole point is not to fucking. You as the cops have to win the fight. The whole point is not to like go round after round after round. It's to end the thing immediately. It's not to stoke it up or jazz it up. I never had a problem in my police career. I was always just spotting the other people's fuckery. But so yeah, it was a crack year. Some people were just whoo outrageous. Hitting people like with everything you have, I could never do that. I've seen just kind of like people and to no effect, to no effect. So yeah, I think you need violence in this line of work, but the right people need to get it. Not everybody, but like, and again, I'm telling you, some people are on PCP, some people aren't, some people just can take the fucking pain like you would not believe, and they can deal it out. And I think a lot of cops can't fight. The first thing they do is, you know, make it worse, tase you, shoot you, get wiggy. And again, you're not supposed to be in a toe-to-toe fist fight in the street. Not supposed to be doing that, right? You're supposed to stop the threat, is what they say. That can be done with a bullet, or that can be done by just jumping on you, handcuffing you, taking you to the precinct, right? And the threat can be anything from a fucking bomb or just to what is it when you're out in the street being an asshole in public? You can't do that here. You're messing up everybody's having a good time and now you're being loud and mean and you have to leave. That's the threat. The threat to quiet, the peace and quiet. Right? I mean nobody, like we used to say, nobody invites the cops to their house when everything's going well. You only see the cops when people are just kind of like, you know, miserable and somebody you don't want show up or God forbid somebody got hurt. That's the only time you ever see the cops. And then on top of that, some of the ones you see are just ridiculous. Uh, According to the suit, the body camera footage has not been released to the public. The identity of the responding officer have also been withheld, the suit said. In 2019, Attorney General directed use of force complete, usually within 20 days. It's very frustrating. The family has a right to transparency in this process, Demiri said. A Trent spokesperson, Tim Carroll, speaking on behalf of the city and the police department, declined to comment beyond saying an investigation was ongoing. Fuck you. This is the law where everything matters. Dates and times and minutes matter. You had 20 days to do this. At least tell us. Nobody's asked you how the investigation is going. Why was this not done in 20 days? We don't got to tell you shit. Fuck you. Yeah, see, this is why we're where we are with police work in America. I've always said it's always been this way, and no one cared. They fuck with black people forever. They, quote unquote, they, right? But they also did it. They were disrespectful to women, sexist, misogynist, mean spirit to minorities and other white people that they didn't like. I'm Irish. I'm Irish Catholic, and that guy, the fucking Irish Protestant. Fuck him. Here's your ticket, right? You know what I mean? All this kind of like, who's looking? I mean, we're the most famous for being abused by it and having it be ignored. But don't think that it hadn't been going on forever with other groups. Is all I'm saying. Shot in the fucking neck. I mean, sweet Jesus. And then having the municipality and the police agency slow roll you with bullshit excuses. Ugh. I just want to know what happened to the cops. Where's the federal government? The city of Trent has fully complied with the request Attorney General review of the February 12th incident and await the findings, Carroll said. The state attorney general office has deferred a separate probe into the officer's actions to the Union County prosecutor's office because of a conflict of interest. So the attorney general of the jurisdiction sent this case to a separate attorney general in a neighboring district because they have a conflict. So they're essentially saying we work with these cops, we know these cops, it makes sense. Your attorney general should not look into that case. So here I am I'm not in Brooklyn now, but I worked in Brooklyn, and I grab you in Brooklyn, I take you to the Brooklyn DA's office, da 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 da. Then one day I get into a shooting and I shoot you, and you were getting ice cream for your bed. The whole story sounds fucking just tragic. Getting ice cream for your kids, you're running to me, asshole Joe over here, and I shoot you. And not once. I shoot you like a lot. Like it sounds ridiculous. Oh, once? Wow, man. Wow. I hate to be fucking shot. Oh no, he shot him 3 times. Wait, you shot Bob 3 times? On noon on a Sunday in front of a church and his kids? While he was dressed to go. What happened? That's the first thing you want to know, right? Oh, we can't tell you there's an ongoing investigation. All right. I don't understand an ongoing investigation, but the idea that you then interview me and you work with me and you know me, I think it's hugely problematic. So you would send my case if I worked in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn DA's office. You would probably send it. Well, there's 5 boroughs, right? So you could send it to the Bronx to look into it. They'll work less with New York, but all the boroughs, DAs and shit know each other. So I don't even know if you could send it to the Bronx. You can't send it out of state because the state laws vary slightly, even though we're all the same country. You could send it to Long Island, which is still New York State. It's all the same shit. So you could have the Long Island DA's office, which is a long trek akin to the city. They wouldn't do it. You have Westchester County do it. Who would do it? Because you couldn't do it in New York. I'm sure here you could do it because this town, Virginia, and Norfolk are different police departments and prosecutorial agencies when a crime happened, all under the same. So they could do it. How can you even? I'm sorry, I'm down a rabbit hole on this. I'm wondering if New York City boroughs swap out cases, or if that's not, because I'm thinking, I know you. I because I've had collars in Manhattan and the Bronx and met their DAs and shit. And I've had collars in Brooklyn, Staten Island, the Bronx. Not in the Bronx. Yeah. Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens. No, not everywhere but Staten Island, I think. All right. Change of venue is for trial. What do you even call this? The state attorney general has deferred a separate probe. This isn't even the probe. They're deferring a second probe. What is this called? When you have someone else prosecute. When someone else prosecutes someone from your jurisdiction. 927 principles of federal prosecution. What are the four types of jurisdictions? Oh, I should know this. The four just types of jurisdictions are local, well, federal and state, right? Local is city and county. I'm thinking of. Oh, this is not even the way they phrase the question. What are the four types of jurisdiction? The answer is the five types of jurisdiction that may apply to your criminal case. Okay. Change of venue. It's who investigates it? What is it called when another agency investigates to gather the evidence to make sure the cops aren't dirty? Uh, True. When you started handcuffing criminals to cops, like in those like 1930 movies where the guy. Oh, you know who was like that famously? Lee Harvey Oswald, famously handcuffed to like the burly cop who's walking him into the underpass in the parking garage. Uh Criminal jurisdiction. How do you? I don't even know what it's called. Change of venue is for criminal prosecution examples. Prosecute. I'm gonna have to give up because I don't even know what it's called. In Massachusetts, I think they would have state police investigated. Right. Well, maybe that's what they do. Maybe the state police investigate in New York City. That makes sense actually, because the city cops rarely have any interaction with state prosecutors. So, but they have a lot of interaction with the attorney generals of the city. I think wow, William, you are just solving all these things on this podcast. I think that's right. Does the state troopers investigate NYPD? Let's see what they say. New York State Police, New York, join the state police, New York State Police, Detective, NYPD, bad cops, a steady career of ending misconduct. I should read that. What is this? I, February 2005. Police integrity laws, a study of law enforcement, New York State Police Department, Wikipedia. Police and detective occupational handbook. I really wanted to be a detective. And then I was going to be a lieutenant, and then a captain. Then I was going to be a deputy inspector. Then I was going to be an inspector. Then I was going to be a 1-star chief. Then I was going to jump straight to 3-star chief because I was going to be great. And then someone was going to go, you would make a great police commissioner. Bam. Actually, I didn't really want to be police. I wanted to be chief of department, which is the highest ranking officer in the bag, the one with the 4 stars. There's only one officer in the police department that wears 4 stars. Um, but there's a whole bunch of 4 stars in the city. The sanitation guy is 4 stars. I don't know how they're an army. It makes sense that they are an army. They're 4 star. Sanitation's 4 stars. The chief of the fire department is 4 stars. The chief of um, the fire department, police department, sanitation. There's a couple of the other. Huh. So anyway, law enforcement disciplinary record. Does state troopers investigating right now? I guess not. Can I find a story that's Brooklyn man pleads guilty to robbery and fires? Fair shooting in Brooklyn Queen leaving men injured. The NYPD deploys neighborhood safety team. Ex NYPD cop pleads guilty to stalking, sexually abusing woman while on duty, and threatening her. What is wrong with people? Adam sees backlash after comments over videotaping police. What did he say? It was a day ago. Suffolk DWI cop drank, drove, crashed, injured drivers. Yeah. After four killings, officer of the year is still on the job. He killed 4 people. June 8th, 2022. Yeah. Yeah, he killed 4 people. I got you beat. Yeah, I can't even read it because it's fucking tragic. And they'll just piss me off. All right, where are we? Hope. Um, yeah, I think the state police will be the one to investigate, especially if it's high profile, right? So let's say the commissioner has a kid, and the kid does some stupid squirrely shit, and the police, let's say, uh, he that whole connection of knowing someone in not the legal system, the prosecutorial system versus on the other in knowing somebody in the arresting thing, right? So the prosecutorial people will then look at you and go, "Oh yeah, we declined to prosecute. We don't see anything here." But another agency, so in your case, the state police, which I think also think it's the New York State Police too, another uh, agency in your same state. So they're still under the same state charter. All those laws still have to pass the same muster, right? The penal law is the penal law for every prosecutorial agency in the state. So they can go, well, let's us take a look at it and then look at what you looked at and say, yeah, I don't see anything here. Or wait, he had an illegal gun, he had drugs. That's prosecutable. Why didn't you look at that? And then on top of that, he killed somebody by drinking. Yeah, well, we think that he can be prosecuted. And it's what happened with the Ahmaud Arbery thing, right? Yeah, we don't see anything here. We're just gonna let it ride. And someone else was like, there's a lot here. Um, and then as soon as that happened, the first lady was like, "Oh, I tried to give it away," and that guy was like, "What, da, da, da. Not mine." People are going to jail for this. Going to jail for it. It's ridiculous. I want to know what happened to the cops. The state attorney general's office has deferred a separate probe, which is a different probe than this one. Action to the Union County prosecutor's office because of a conflict of interest. The Mercer County prosecutor's office spoke and said, so the Mercer County prosecutor who should be handling this gave an earlier case concerning this guy, these cops, I think, to a separate agency. I think they said that to for 2 reasons. One, uh, you let a little more slip out than you wanted to. You're implying that, oh, there's another case other than this one. What is that about? You let it slip out. But I think the thing that you wanted them to expect to hear coming in a couple of days or weeks is, oh, when this happens, we give it over, and like we said, we're looking to give it over, and they're doing an investigation. We're holding names secret, but we gave it over, right? It implies it is out of our hands. Um, so you don't ask us anything, which is fair. We're not doing an investigation. Why are you asking us? We don't know either. This is one of the rare cases where we're not doing our investigation. The Not the Mercer County, the good lord, not the Mercer County, the state attorney general's office, right, is looking into it. So please go ask their investigator, and then their investigator will do the same thing these humps are doing, which is we don't compromise, we don't concentrate, we don't comment on pending litigation, or we don't comment on ongoing investigations, or we don't comment on fuckery. You know how that goes. They'll tell you three things. They'll tell you no comment. They'll tell you we don't comment on pending investigation slash pending lawsuits, and they'll tell you we don't comment. We have no comment. That's it. That's it. The only time they ever tell you what happens is when is their hands are clean and they want to put the blame on somebody else, right? So when you look at some of these things, you go, "Oh, the guy and the cops were acting heroic," and then you find out that none of that was true. Then all of a sudden, we got no comment while this is all pending. There's a lawsuit. Wait, you held it. You commented on it already, and that was a lie. So you've commented on it. Now clear up what you said instead of saying we're not going to say anything because now there's a lawsuit. Like you see what I'm saying? The fuckery. It's why nothing is fixed and nothing gets better. Ooh, all right. What happened to these cops? Spokesman with the prosecutor's office said Friday. The office is still prosecuting Henderson. Sorry. I'm trying not to be outraged. A spokesperson for the prosecutor's office said Friday that the office is still prosecuting Henderson, the guy shot in the neck with paralyzed, for resisting arrest and obstruction. That's to double down and say, no, we were legitimate. See, we can still when you shouldn't. Otherwise, you'd have to go, yeah, we got nothing on him, but he's paralyzed, and now we don't, so you can. No one's gonna find him guilty of any of the shit that you're gonna trump up on him since you shot him 4 times. Whoo! I'll be right back. Sweet Jeebus, what is going on in the world? Young heartache to heartache, we stand. No promises, no demands. Love is a battlefield. New lips, got a hole in it, spilling all over myself. All right. So apparently, they're going to prosecute this guy that you just made paralyzed. This 29-year-old. I skipped ahead like 5 paragraphs. Let's read some of this. The Tennessee spokesperson, Kara, was declined to comment. Investigations are ongoing. City of Trenton, lawsuit to County Prosecutor's Office. Someone else. Demary said, in addition to being paralyzed, Henderson was charged with aggravated assault, resisting arrest, and obstruction of justice. The aggravated assault charges, 4 counts, were eventually dropped by the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office, Demary said. So they shot him 4 times, then they threw all these charges at him to cover themselves. It's an old fucking trick. You can't shoot somebody 4 times and not charge them with anything. So that way you get to say, I shot the criminal, right? Because I charged him, so he's a criminal. You can't say I shot the innocent person who I didn't charge with anything. A spokesperson with the prosecutor's office said Friday that the office is still prosecuting Hans for resisting arrest and obstruction. The spokesperson did not elaborate on why. So you're obviously talking about the case. I thought you weren't going to be talking about it, right? You're happy. Oh man. Alrighty then. In an affidavit filed against Henderson, provided by Mercer's prosecutors. So they give you shit. The prosecutors are showing you stuff, even as they say they're not. An affidavit filed against Henderson provided by Mercer's prosecutor to tell the police perspective on what preceded the shooting. You don't have any comment, but you're giving up all this one-sided information. The affidavit said that Trenton Police Street Crimes Unit 511 and 513 attempted to conduct a major motor vehicle stop on Saturday. They attempted a motor vehicle stop. The article at the beginning said the car was double parked. Attempting to stop it implies you're following it and it won't stop, and you're attempting to stop it. All right, let's continue forward because I've done that before. All right, Century, he's rolling through. He's not gonna. He's gonna go. We would go. We would go. He's gonna go. He's not gonna go. He's gonna go. He's gonna pull over, and then he's rolling along, and then we all go. Yeah, he's gonna go. And he'd go. Then the lights will go on, and your lights will go on. Sirens will hit, and then before you know it, you're driving really fast through Brooklyn streets. All right. Never lasted long because, like I said, the zone is full of cops. So you might get 4 or 5 blocks before there are cops in front of you going to, and then you got to get out and run. It's better to run in New York, not drive. I think it's better to drive in LA when you're trying to avoid the cops because they got a lot of driving space and streets and open roadness. Not New York. A lot of stop and go traffic in New York. So ditch the car and start running. And what you do is you ditch the car. No one else can move because the car is stopped. Doors open. Everybody poof go 4 ways. You and your team poof out all your doors. Go 4 ways. Now you got 2 open cars stuck there. But the driver always stays with the car. And you don't split up from the other guy. And then you call it over. Then you hear all the squawkiness of everybody showing up at your scene, and the only thing you're hearing the difference is woo, 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 which means everybody's flooding the zone, and they can only go so far. And you can see him. You are in eyesight of him, right? You didn't lose him in a fog. You're going. We're running down 42nd, now 43rd. Now we just made it right. We're heading toward the river, and they're going. Okay, before you know it, you only have to chase them like 3 blocks because they have cars and you're on foot. And you're in a giant grid. California is very different. Very, very different. Yeah, getting into a fucking high-speed chase in New York is fucking impossible to do. And if you do it and you're successful at it, they're still gonna get you, and then they're gonna throw the book at you because it really is a ridiculous idea of a high-speed chase in the New York City proper. I'm not talking about the highways around. I'm talking about through Brooklyn streets and downside streets, and yeah, the idea of it is offensive to me. 5111. Okay, the affidavits say that Trenton Police Street Crimes Unit 511 513 attempted to conduct a major vehicle stop on the Saturn the night of the incident. They lied on this affidavit, it sounds like. Henderson, the affidavit said, refused to cooperate with detectives' orders to roll down the window and then exit the vehicle. This implies this interaction took place over minutes. Yeah, you know what? Crime happens fast, but not this fast. And cops just, I mean, a lot of these cops show up, they're fucking arrogant and they're violent and they're hateful. And then all these, I'm gonna charge you with something covers their ass. And if they've been doing it for so long, I'm telling you, I think it comes down to shooting at the cops now. And people are like, that's a wild thing to say. Oops. That's a wild thing to say. But Arkham raised them in this motherfucker, right? You're not going to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So people have stopped marching, right? They did that a ton, and nothing happened. And now, and by the way, I tell people all the time, stop acting like slaves were just unhappy and picking cotton. There was a lot of slave revolts. A lot of slave owners got fucking dead. So I mean, the human animal is the human animal. People want vengeance. Shit sits in people's craw. People seek to strike out, and I think we're seeing more and more of that in all groups, not just black folk. Right? People are losing their shit on planes. um, refused to cooperate with the detectives' orders to roll down the window and then exit the vehicle. He also could not provide a driver's license or proof of the Saturn's registration and insurance. The affidavit said, how's he supposed to provide that if he's got a bullet in his neck? You see what's going on here? Give me your license and registration while you're bleeding out. When did you get a chance to ask me for my license and registration? He was also could not provide a driver's license or proof of the Saturn's registration insurance. The affidavit said Henderson lawsuit said the car belonged to the mother of his child. Henderson lawsuit. Henderson, so he had permission to use the car. You don't have to own the look. If you catch me driving my mom's car and go, well, the car wasn't his, no one's gonna go, oh well, obviously he's still. They're gonna be like, it's his mom's car, right? Outrageous. Henderson also refused to stop, and Henderson also refused orders to stop reaching under the back seat. He refused orders. Stop doing that. No. Hey, don't do that anymore. No, I'm going to keep doing this. How did that go down? He refused orders. Did you say it once? And look, as someone who's done police work, you don't ever let anybody's hands disappear. So the idea that you're outside the car in a hot dark tent and he won't roll the window down at night after midnight, you got the car surrounded, and you let him keep reaching in a back seat, no one buys that. This affidavit. This is what I mean by read these affidavits, because some people don't even know how to put a lie down on paper. None of this makes sense. I used to love reading 61s. I used to love it. The spelling, the weirdness. Some people write down everything, stuff that you should not put in the 61. I'm pretty sure some of my 61 were shit too. Attempted to turn the he he refused. He refused. He didn't stop doing it. He refused. Like, do it. No, I'm not gonna. He refused. We told him to do something, and he didn't ignore us. He went further. He was contrary to. He spoke contrary to us about this disorder. He spoke to us. He refused. Right under the back seat. He's reaching under the back seat from the front seat, which prompted an officer to break the driver's window. The affidavit said Henderson then, according to the affidavit, turned on the ignition. I thought he was boxed in and attempted to flee, striking two parked cars while officers were in close proximity. This always sounds like the bullshit. Now you look at the cars. Where is this damage? In New York, we'd call highway patrol to run the numbers. Car was here, rolled forward. There's paint from this car on the bumper. Yeah, he definitely hit it. All this sounds like he threw the car in reverse. He hit some car. First, he's boxed in, mind you. Boxed in means tucked, right? I would have to throw it in reverse and jam the brake to push you out of the way. But now I'm almost hitting people as I'm boxed in. Two things are going on here, and both of those things can't be. Man, don't even get me started. Henderson, the back seat, according to the affidavit, turned on the prompted an officer to break the driver's side window because he kept reaching under. The affidavit said Henderson then, according to the affidavit, turned on the ignition and attempted to flee, striking two parked cars while officers were in close proximity. They were just next to the parked cars. What were they doing? Henderson said it is unclear if he turned on the ignition, but fleeing was impossible given the car was boxed in between vehicles on three sides, with the fourth side blocked by a utility pole on the car's passenger side. I thought he was double parked. I'm trying to see this. There's a sidewalk, there's a car, there's you. You know what? I have enough art shit here that we can draw this out. Marker. All right, I need a piece of paper. I bought all these. I bought all these. Where is it? I bought all these. Not scratch, but tearaway pad. No pads. Here they are. Here's one. All right. I knew I had some of these around here. All right. So this is what I got on this thing. I don't even know why we're going in this thing because it sounds weird. Good Lord, good Lord. Give me just a clear sheet of paper. All right, here we go. We're going to do this thing. Huh? Let's say that this is his car. Let's say with a red marker, here you go. This, hold it, is what I thought happened. He was double parked. This, all right. This is double parked, right? Or first, let's say that this is the curb. There's a car here. Let's say that there's a spot, but he didn't take it, right? So there's 3 tan cars in the blue car that is double parked. The cops show up. Let's do the cops in red now. The cops show up and box him in with 2 cars. So one in front because he's boxed in. So the 2 red cars are the police cars. That's how I thought it was. They said what it was this. Where's that marker? There's a pole. Where's that tan marker? There's a pole. And then there's his car. I don't know how that's double parked. And then they boxed them in. Right? So this car comes this way. I'm assuming this car just pulls up in front, and this car swoops in this way. That's generally how you box a car in the old police route, right? So that little circle up here is a pole that they said was there that he couldn't get out, and he was boxed in by 3 cars. So the car was immobile and he couldn't move. They're saying he started slamming the car around, and then they shot him, right? So all of this just look. Oh, I was looking for this. Tell you, man, I used to read the newspaper all the time, and I love reading. I used to read, and I would get into this zone where I don't remember the words, but everything with the picture, right? And I could just kind of like have this flipping picture of this story in my head. And then I would love to see movies to see if the movies got anywhere near where of the image in my head. So when I read these stories, um, in newspapers and the narrative of things that happen, I'm often like, something's not right. Something's just quirky. Okay, Henderson lawsuit said that it's unclear if he turned on the ignition but was fleeing was impossible, given that the car was boxed in between vehicles on 3 sides, with the fourth side blocked by a utility pole on the car's passenger side. Right. So that's this second. So the first one is wrong. The second one is what we thought is right. He was boxed in by 3 cars. One is on his driver's side, right? 2 are, I'm sure it's not right next to him. It's probably got like 4 feet of space or 3 feet of space so the cops can be there, but it's still right next to you. And you got the other car up against your bumper or about a foot away from your bumper. You're not moving these cars, which are what was he driving? A Toyota? You'd have to have an F-150 with a Mazda engine to just kind of push them out of the way. And then they could have shot you, blew your brains out. And then it's like he threw it in reverse. Look, he moved the cars. We threw it, right? And that people would have been like, case closed, no problem here. But what you're getting with this is a narrative that doesn't fit what looks to be the story the newspaper's telling us. Maybe the newspaper's full of shit. It doesn't look to fit the new something is wrong here. Is essentially what I'm saying. But fleeing was impossible given the car was boxed in between vehicles on 3 sides with a fourth of utility pole. No officers were injured. You just said the officer. Stop. You know what? We might have to lengthen the show, but we're also going to change when we do it. Um, I was watching one guy, his pod. He does a 3 hour pod in the morning and a 3 hour pod in the afternoon, which I could easily do. Remember when we started this thing, we were doing 1 5, we were doing 2 hour pod in the morning and then like a 4 hour pod in the afternoon for like 3 months. So I mean, we might slice and dice it up. But God only knows, man. I have no idea. Oh, what is going on? I'm going through some shit in my own personal life, so I don't even know what to tell you. No officers were injured. The four officers were placed on administrative leave, standard policy, according to a county prosecutor's statement from last month. Uh Here's the thing: 4 guys who did shooting. Did they all shoot, or did one guy shoot? Because when this thing hits trial, and this is what they do to the cops, you better tell them this story because I'm not trying to do 30 years. You didn't fire anybody. You were never a problem. You got to play the game. The blue wall, right? It's what the Klan did. What are you, a nigger lover? Oh no, I think yeah, all right, right. It's like you don't have to hang them with us, but you better fucking stay in line, or your house will be burned down too. And this is what the fucking blue wall of silence shit is all about. It's the same. It's the same fucking energy, right? It's the same as the Klan bullshit. Don't, but the day for it is over, and I really do think, you know what? I used to tell cats in New York. Place has 1,000 windows per block. What makes you think somebody won't blow your fucking head clean off your shoulders? The height of arrogance you're sitting in relies on people not taking you on, and they haven't yet. And people have done protesting. Nobody's marching anymore. In a land of guns, I think you're running the risk. Is all I'm saying. Right? No one believes these police reports. No one believes. No one has faith in the system in regards to this, and people know it, right? People know that they can manipulate it, and other people don't. And other people don't trust it. There you go. You said, excuse me. You said the officer were injured at the beginning, and now, excuse me. And now you're saying no officers were hurt. No officers were injured. The 4 officers were placed on. Excuse me. The 4 officers were placed on. The 4 officers were placed on administrative leave, according to a prosecutor's statement from last month. Demary said Henderson is a fighter who is working through rehabilitation. You can't rehabilitation power. See, that's that's just the kind of thing that they say to make you feel better. But it's para it's paralyzation. It's paralyzation. He's paralytic, right? Is that I don't remember. Is fighting this. Demary St. Henderson is a fighter who is working through rehabilitation and trying to gain mobility, but he has a long road ahead. Given the circumstances, Demary said his client acted like most people would. Anyone in that situation would be very frightened for their life. So people dressed all in black just roll up on you out of 3 cars. Why wouldn't you reach for your phone and call somebody? And then they're like, he's reached. What did he reach on the back seat for? Should you be concerned? After you get out the car, after you shot him, the first thing you do is toss the car. What's in the back seat? Nothing. He was reaching for what? Nothing? Is that what he was reaching for? Or tell me, we found a gun under the back seat. Everybody's wearing body cameras. Tell me that. Remember that guy in Boston? I want to say Massachusetts, who was found planting, that cop who was found planting a gun with his butt. What happened to that case? This is the thing that people should know, and they go, look, we take this shit seriously. This guy's not a police officer anymore, and he went to jail for planting the gun, XYZ, right? Look at us. We are honor bound and about our business. Versus we don't want to say anything, take our word for it. Um, was it Massachusetts? Massachusetts officer plant. Was it drugs or gun? Evidence with body cam on. This is June 2020. This was like I thought this was a long. Should Massachusetts exempt police body cam footage? Warrant needed for body cam footage. Body cam 3 police misconduct case all body cameras. Da, 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 da. Yeah. I don't know what happened. I could have sworn Empire Rose out new version of Jesse Smollett is out of jail. It's fucking ridiculous. Just don't make any sense. Excuse me. So say body cam. So yeah, this is the Daily Show, but they're covering it. What is the name? Oh no, I'm on Facebook. Oh god. I feel like I need a shower now. I can't find the name of it, so the police videos cast doubt on dozens of guns and drug arrests. And they're gonna write it till you know what? You're exposed. Fix it. And they're like, no, we're not gonna fix it. So okay, reap the whirlwind, bitches. This is what it is. And sadly, I'm on your side. I'm openly known as pro policeman. So when they just go, yo, there's a cop around me who lives and I hate him. And he's, now I gotta start carrying a gun again because you people are fuck ups and can't do simple shit like get the bad guy and leave the innocent guy alone. Woo-wee. All right. It is 8:30. We're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna I want to thank you, excuse me, for coming through and hanging out with me. Running through some of it. We didn't run through a lot of it. We didn't run through enough of it. We even had a Venn diagram, which was pretty good. Not a Venn diagram, but a diagram of. They say he was double parked. That's not double parked. He was boxed in by 3 cars, and the pole was next to his passenger side door. So maybe it was a narrow street, and all the other cars were parked on the side, but someone would have had to go around him. It's a one-way street. Doesn't make any sense how that street is described. I'd love to see it. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm gonna thank all of you for coming through. Uh William, thank you for coming through. Oh, now I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. We're okay. Woo-wee. All right. So today was the first day I actually when I had dinner in a place in 2.5 years. Well, that's not true. I went out for my niece's birthday party, but I've been super paranoid about this bug, and I haven't done a lot. And then I went to this festival. Got back by 7. Did the full show and running long, and we're about to end it because I'm about to go play some video games with my homie and de-stress, baby, de-stress. I'm having a mode. I need a miracle. Miracle. Anybody know God? Please let him know. I'm looking for him because I need a miracle. I think he owed me like at least 3. But then again, there was a few that I really am surprised I got out with. So maybe I owe him a miracle. Um, well, any people? Yeah, it was a restaurant, so you don't have to mask up in a restaurant. But also here they withdrew all those mandates, right? Which they're doing all over the country. Uh, we're gonna see because there's a new variant. I'm still wearing masks, but man, I'm trying not to be paranoid about it and be zealous about it. But at this point, I think I think I'm just gonna get it. I think it's a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. I think it's when. I mean, you can't avoid this forever. I would like to, but I don't think you can. You will eventually run across somebody who has it and will give it to you. And I walk through a fair amount of doors. I always have a mask on. I'm always respectful, right? But taking my mask off and eating in a place and breathing and talking, that was a rarity. And I was like, maybe you should risk that occasionally, so you're not some paranoid freako from the Creep Show movie where you live in a spotless, uh, hypoallergenic, purized room in a dirty, filthy city, right? And then you get roaches, and you know how that leads. All right, I want to thank you for coming through, especially you, William. I really want to thank you. Please like and subscribe. Things are going to change here March 1st. When is March 1st? God, March 1st is next week, Friday. Next week. When is this wedding? No, it's not next week. The wedding is 2 weeks away. God. So March 1st is the week after next week, Thursday. We have got to fix our life. I gotta do my taxes too. Good Lord. All right. It's that time of year again. Tax. It's like that guy on the game show. He was like, I don't pay taxes. Right, because there was a guy on the game show who got in trouble for not paying taxes or something like that, or doing some weird shit. And they keep doing tax jokes with him, but it was like 20 years ago. And then this other guy who they was funny. It was a bit. It was a skit. He was like, "Oh, I'll pay my taxes." Well, the first thing you do is and he went into like all this goofy shit about how he didn't pay taxes, but don't tell anybody, but don't tell anybody, but don't tell anybody. But he's on TV saying all this goofy, funny, wild nonsense. All right. Remember, people, hobbies are good for you. Get one. Friends are good for you. They're hard to make, but get one. You know what they're like? They're like clay mugs. You ever do any clay working? That shit is hard. It's the same thing. But once you dial it in, you're fine. It's like music. Music is hard. Once you dial it in, you can jam with somebody. And I think that's the point, right? Essentially vibe with somebody, get somebody, whether it's cars or just something that lets you breathe and like be a little more compassionate and less dispassionate. All right, that's it for me. That was my Sunday sermon for you, so you got it early. We're going to be back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Not 11, right? 10 a.m. for the Sunday service, where we will continue our quest to figure shit out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, that's it for us. You have the moon and the stars, and I appreciate you. Take care of yourself. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm making sure that I'm empty of information. Yeah, I think I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Saturday Night Live is on tonight. I'm curious to see if they say anything about fucking Pete Davidson. I'm just curious. They're the cool kids in high school, by the way, which means you can't trust them. All right. I will see you in the next one. Next one's tomorrow. Mwah! Peace.